Hi, y'all. This is the Southern Belle from Hell, and I am so excited to show you guys this build. This was a competition on Facebook, and it was a garden party competition. And I just made a shell, and I decided, you know what? I enjoyed this so much. I want to make a sim and do a little green witch thing for my gameplay. So I have this whimsical setup. I wanted to make like a natural fallen tree bridge with kind of a creepy cypress tree with a lot of vines on the side. Here I'm making a little tower. In my mind I was picturing like a castle that had been worn down and someone just added to it and made their own little cottage area. And here is a little bridge. I decided to make like a bridge covered with flowers and vines, and I add that a little bit later. So I make her bedroom in the back a glass ceiling because I just thought that was a good addition to the whimsical side. Adding some squandrels to the roof, a little dormer, because I really don't put a whole lot of dormers on my builds, so this was fun. This was I wouldn't say a new experience, but like a combination of different things I've done or wanted to try. And this was just like everything I've done in the past combined together. Now, what is super annoying, and maybe some of you guys can help me out here, it is difficult to decorate a circular room and also make everything in there functional. So I had a time with that, but everything is functional. It took a few tries on the gameplay, but it is posted on the gallery. It is a functional build. My gallery ID is M Coleman 570442, and it is the Green Witch Henford-On-Bagley cottage. So I'm just putting lights in all the rooms. I'm going to go back to the outside and decorate the landscape, and I absolutely love the landscape. The landscape is so much fun to do, especially with a build like this where you want everything to look natural, but you know, a little run down, but not enough to where it's ugly. You know, something magical. I tried to rotate these rocks as much as I could and scale them down using different options in the tool mod that I usually am too scared to use because I'm afraid I'm going to mess something up. Had fun with the boulders, trying to pick the ones that are moss colored so it fits in with the rest of the landscape. And I love the moss colored boulders. Everything looks like it's supposed to be there, especially after I add the plants and the shrubbery. So my sim, I played all night with my sim on this lot. This was so much fun. I made a new sim just for this. And she is a green witch. She wants to be a master potion maker, whatever you call that. So I decided to stick with like a purple color scheme. I'm lining the entire house with lavender, these huge lavender bushes. And I don't know, when I think of magic or any type of magical build, I like to see purple and blues. I don't know why that comes to my mind. you know, like I grew up with Harry Potter, so there wasn't a whole lot of purple in that. But I spent so long on the outside and I enjoyed every minute of it. Just to add difference in color, I put in white azaleas and a lot of shrubbery. Because again, I don't want this to look like a manicured yard. This needs to look overgrown, but still interesting, and like, yeah, I would love to just walk through that. Now I wanted to add a snake, you know, like the snakes that you see in Glimmerbrook. I wanted to add a snake to be slithering on the side of that cypress tree. If any of you guys know where I can find that, that would be awesome. I'm sure it's in the game somewhere, but I looked and looked and I'm like, I can't find it. It's not a big deal, it's just a snake. But I thought like that would give that side a little bit more of a creepy vibe if you saw a little snake slithering around. Now she's not a bad witch, but you know, I do like that this property has its whimsical side, but also its don't really go over there. It's kind of scary, and already my sim is feeling it. She's afraid of the dark now. Alright, so now I am just lining around the boulders, just different pieces of grass to give it more of a realistic effect. I don't know, I feel like when I do that, I feel more immersed in it. I also use the tool mod to set it down because this lot has a lot of different elevations, and it doesn't, like, it just wants to sit on top of the grass. So I lower it down to where it's actually in the ground itself. I went a little crazy with the vines, but I felt like it fit in with the design of the lot and everything. If I did a little bit too much, just tell me. I don't know. I love adding vines to old cottage looking houses, and I like to make it look like it's just climbing all the way up to the roof. So just trying to add some realism here. Here are the flowers that I add, and I added some more vines to the cypress tree, scattering around some grass and some mushrooms, a little bit of overgrown plant life. I just think it looks so cool. It just looks like a fairy should live here, and I know every simmer says, you know, when are we gonna have a fairy expansion pack? I'm waiting for it. I'm living for it. You can't have a whimsical build without the garden path stones. And again, because there's all this different elevation, some of them jut out a little bit, but I kind of like the way it juts out because it looks like it's been there, and through time and erosion and weather, it is just you know, kind of jutting out of the side, but it doesn't look fake. Alright, so adding her garden, and again, like usually for a build, I don't put all this stuff out there because it doesn't really give you guys a whole lot of freedom. But this is for my sim, so I knew I wanted her to be a green witch with a nice garden and embracing the farm life a little bit. I haven't put cows or anything in there just yet. Right now I'm starting her off small. We're just worried about the chickens, and the chickens is a full-time job, man. So, oh yeah, I put that little rake up there and I rotated it to where it's like just sitting against the tree. Now decorating it, I had a hard time starting out because I didn't want her to look like she's struggling financially, you know, like with a bunch of mismatched furniture. but I did want it to look wholesome and cottagey mixed in with her occult background. So there's so many ways you can go with this. I thought it would be simple, but I actually struggled a little bit on the decorations. But I think it all came out good in the end. I used the cabinets to do like a little entertainment center because the console tables just didn't seem to fit, and I didn't want a fireplace in this room. I wanted to keep the fireplace, just one fireplace in her little witch's tower. So if you've watched any of my builds, I'm kind of scattered when it comes to decorating. I enjoy it, but as I find things, I go, oh, well, this will look good in this room. This will look good outside. This, this would be better in here. So as I find things, I just pop them in different rooms. I wish I could be like the sim YouTubers that they strictly decorate, one specific room at a time without jumping anywhere. And I have this issue where I'll see something and then it'll take me forever to find it again. I love this shelf from Basement Treasures, the one that is kind of broken. So I had to do some resizing, and I get the little red shelf out to put some clutter on there. And I still wanted it to look functional even though it's broken, and it is functional. Your sim will have no problem getting their books or turning on the music. I did not forget to put the light switch up. Even though this is an old, disheveled, well, I wouldn't say disheveled, but rundown castle that's been revamped a little bit, I do want the side that's been revamped to look like it has electricity. We're not completely off-grid. This lot originally is off-grid, and I changed it because I don't have fun doing off-grid stuff. I like the stuff in the builds that's off-grid. Like, I think it's so neat, but I have the hardest time having Sims actually live off-grid. It's not fun for me. When I watch videos with people that play Sims off-grid, it's fun for me to watch. It's not fun for me to play. So this bookshelf that I have in the living room, I didn't want it to be full of books. I wanted it to be full of little oddities and little trinkets because she is a witch. And yeah, she reads a lot, but also she's got so many other activities. She's into cross-stitching, she's into fishing, she's into music and painting, and she is wanting to be an avid potion master. So she's going to have little oddities that she's going to need for her potion making. And she has needed it. She has used that shelf a lot. I played way too long last night because I also wanted to get good screenshots to show you guys, and you'll see it at the end. I'm very proud of them. So the kitchen was really interesting, and I've had to play around with the kitchen a bit because not all the parts were functional, which I still can't understand why. She acts like she doesn't have enough room in this kitchen to cook, even though she has a ton of counter space. So I did have to move the island that I put there, and I just ended up putting a dining room table in the middle. You won't get to see that in here. It's something I had to do last night in my gameplay. So if you get this lot on the gallery and you're like, wait, why can't my sim cook in here? It's the island. So I'm sorry. I thought I gave her more than enough room to cook and do, everything you're supposed to do in a kitchen, but I guess not. I've made so many tiny homes where it is the smallest kitchen with a bunch of clutter, no problem. But for some reason, this, yeah, my sim was not having it. So I'm just kind of lining the area with clutter as I find it in buy mode, and I usually do that. If it's annoying, I'm so sorry. But I just try to like get everything out first and then organize it later. I love the way the vines kind of peek through from inside the windows. I was worried about that when I was putting the vines up, and as I was building and also in the gameplay, it looks like it's just supposed to be there. Like it's normal. It's not, a glitch in the matrix. It looks right. So she has to be good at cooking. We're not there yet. We haven't had any fires, knock on wood, but she's learning. She's much better at potion making than she is actually cooking meals. So we are slowly working on that. There's so much that after I played, I said, oh, I should have put this in this kitchen, this and this. But there's so much clutter, I don't think I'd be able to fit all the other things that I'm like, oh, this would look cute. There's just so much, which is good. I mean, it's not a bad thing that there's so much to decorate your kitchens with, but there's so many other things that also would look so cute in this kitchen. I don't know. I wanted to have this little gnome. I like the gnome with the flowers sticking out, and that was her little centerpiece. I had to have that in the bathroom. That little vent. I see it in so many builds, and I've never used it because it's like I don't really see a purpose. Like I see a purpose for it, but then when I'm building, I'm like, nah, this area needs this. So I was happy to finally use that item. Alright, this part is so cool, and it's completely functional. Your sim will have no problem walking through this. This is the part that hooks up to the disheveled castle. So I wanted to keep true to that and have like a ruin in there, to where you see like this is the part that this house has been added on to. So it is so neat. I put little cracks around it, and even just like the gameplay, it's so much fun to just like watch the sim go from, I wouldn't say a modern house, but more modern than the castle part, or the tower part. I wouldn't go so far as to call this a castle. But yeah, it is so neat. It's like you're truly living in a updated ruin. So this little hallway, I had difficulty trying to figure out like what all to put in there. So again, as I'm finding things, I'm just putting it down, putting her a little radiator, and I'm starting to decorate the upstairs as I'm finding stuff, because that's going to be her potion making, magic, seance, skill building place. I absolutely hate the curtains that I have. I'm going to get more packs soon. I have like 20 different packs, but I'm not crazy about any of the curtains for the regular size windows. To me, they all are too big or they're too small, and I have to resize them, and to me, even after I resize them, they don't look great. So I'm decorating the bathroom, and I wanted it to look simple, full of plants, because this is a green witch. As you probably noticed, there's a bunch of green in this build, and I wanted to raise the tub up a little bit, make the room a bit more interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know how I can improve. I'm really trying my best to make some good content for you guys because I enjoy watching builds and I enjoy doing builds. So I would really, really love to grow this channel and hear from you guys. So I'm just putting in a bunch of clutter, bathroom clutter items, you know, some makeup, some cleaning supplies. It's a small bathroom, so everything's kind of put together on the shelf. I always, like, I have to put the plunger in the bathroom. Like, every time I see it in the debug menu, I'm like, oh yeah, that's needed. I don't know why, because there's so many other builds I watch people do and they never put the plunger in, but as soon as I see that thing, I'm like, yeah, that's needed. That's a necessity. Gotta have a plunger. I hope I kind of succeeded with this old cute cottage kind of rundown, but not really. Like, we're doing our best to keep this historical tower alive. I like to put tapestries as curtains because I like them better than the curtains, but also that's what I have in my bedroom. I love tapestries. So yeah, that's why I put that in there. It's a little bit of, you know, my style. I tried to make her bedroom look very full and not neat, but also not dirty. So I had her a little box of things, some clutter. I found this short sword that I said, oh, that kind of fits in with this rundown tower. End up not using the broken clay pots because I no longer saw, like, you know, that was just kind of like, oh, that'd be interesting to put in there, but it's not like the most interesting of the clutter that I found. So she loves cats. I have a ton of cats at this lot right now, and none of them are hers. They're just strays, and instead of adopting them, it's just every evening they come and I feed them and they hang out inside of the house, and I don't really feel a need to adopt them just yet. But there's one that she absolutely adores, so I might get her to adopt that one. I absolutely love the cracks in the walls. It gives it such a more real effect. I do end up putting a desk with a like the antique typewriter that's been converted into a computer thing during my gameplay, because it just got so annoying going to the library to order the different skill books and, you know, her garden packets and all of that stuff. So she has a computer. And as always, you're gonna hear my cat, Kiwi. She's got to make an appearance in every video I do. She knows I'm talking and I'm not talking to her, so she's gonna throw a fit. I didn't know what to do with this area, so I said, you know what, why not clutter it up with skill stuff? You know, it's her other stuff that doesn't have to do necessarily with magic. So I put all of that in the landing. Now this seance table with the chairs, I know that looks like it will block the cauldron and everything, but my sim hasn't had a problem walking around it and still being able to do her tasks with the seance table and with the cauldron. So it looks like it would be a problem, but in my gameplay it hasn't. So even though we have a lamp on the ceiling, I'll say a lamp, a little chandelier thing, I wanted this area to look like it doesn't really have electricity. So we've got the fireplace, we've got candles, and At first I just wanted one singular fire poker there, but it just would not set right. So I got tired of messing with it, and I just put the firebox tools right there. And again, I didn't want it to look like it has electricity, so I just kind of slowly hid the fire alarm. And that's already been needed. We haven't like burned anything yet, but she did get burned a little bit, and she was fine. All right, so it's time for the screenshots. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, see you later.